So let's talk about your album. You said, what is it?
Fire in the Church.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay. It was #2 album in the country, 3 days in a row, next to Drake's Views. I feel like it's well needed in hip hop, you know, as far as the substance and the messages in it, you know, to the youth and just to people in general. I kind of had a strategy for this album way before it even came out, which was, you know, Chicago is full of violence and stuff right now, you know, so I just feel like the youth, nobody is going to take the word of anybody just coming up saying, you know, pop up at their school and just be like, hey, put the guns down. You know, it's like, who the fuck is you? You know, even if you're a black guy, you know, if you come in with a suit and tie on, hey, put the guns down. It's like, to them, that sounds just as crazy as us telling the police officer, go to work and don't bring your gun. Yeah. You know, it's like police officers, they go to work from 9 to 5 and get to go back home where it's safe at. Like us, the bullshit come knocking on our door, kick in our door any time of the night. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no turn this off. That's 24/7, you know, 365. So it's like, you gotta understand why kids and people have guns where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not out to do bad things, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes just to protect yourself, you know, because you never know when the devil might come knocking at your door, you know? So I just felt like you have to lead by example, you know? It's to where if a black guy came in school, it's like, put the guns down, they'd be like, who the fuck is you? You know, like, who the fuck is this dude? Or you think he could, you know, talk to us like, oh, we just don't take his word because he said he used to live where we live at, you know? And it's like, when you have a person that you know, that they know, like, we go do our research on him, you know, and see, like, he was talking about doing all the bad shit, you know? He was doing this, like, you know, he was with the shit, basically, you know what I'm saying? From selling drugs, you know, to, you know, shooting and having guns, and I done caught multiple gun cases in the past, you know, and all that type of stuff. So I feel like when it's coming from a person that's like that, that's telling you it is a way away from that, you know, and that's not cool, that's not the life, you know, you're supposed to stay in or really glorify, you know, then it means more, because it's like, yeah, we respected him when he was talking about this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when he say this, you know, we can, it's credible now, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like in the world, period, whoever's listening to music, period, it's a lot of people out there that doesn't have fathers, you know? And there's a lot of people out there that doesn't have big brothers, and if they do, most of their big brothers might not be telling them what they need to hear, you know? So in my music, as of lately, I've been making sure I insert those type of messages that I want my sons to hear and listen to when they get older. Certain things that I know other people out there that doesn't have fathers, you know, and big brothers need to hear, you know? Like, it's originally meant for my sons, but I don't mind you overhearing it because you may need it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why I've been putting, you know, more messages in my music, because I know it's useful, you know? Yeah. When somebody gives you something that you really need it or can really walk away with and use it, they value you. You know, like if you was hurting right now and I was like, hey, here go $5,000, it's like, damn, you'll never forget me, you know? If I show up 15, 20 years from now, you're like, you know, that was real helpful, you know, and it was unexpected, and you didn't have to do that. I could have just been rapping about turning up or shoot that nigga or, you know, drinking lean or whatever the fuck, you know, these other motherfuckers rap about, you know, and not giving you anything to help you grow as a person or walk away from my music with, you know. So I just got a lot of people, I get messages and DMs and inboxes all day saying like, man, you know, you motivated me to do this, or you the reason I don't smoke and drink no more, or, you know, thanks to you, I pray every day now, you know, and stuff like that, you know. And, you know, I stopped hanging with the wrong crowd, because just like when you said this and said that, you know. And I also got a line in one of my raps on the album where I say, fire in the church is liars in the church. Scratch the surface, find a diamond in the dirt. You gotta grind until it hurts. I am triumphed and diverse. Flow rare, unfair, might start a riot with this verse. I will father like Mufasa until I'm lying in a hearse. And it's what I mean. I will father like Mufasa until I'm like basically I'm gonna teach you until I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Until I'm dead, basically, or until my rap career is over with. You know, like I'm gonna teach. I'm gonna be that big brother. I'm gonna be that father. I'm gonna make sure I give you things that you can use. You know, because when you look at certain music that we hear today and we turn up to, you know, it's like everybody want to turn up. Everybody want to have fun. Not knocking it and saying nothing wrong with it. But while you have, I feel like, for me having God's blessing and being able to live my dream, like, how can you repay God? Like, you can't give him, you know what I'm saying, something equal to that. So it's like, I feel like it's my responsibility to give the rest of his children, you know, a peace of mind, you know, and something that they can use, something to value, you know. Like, that's the only way I feel like I can, you know, attempt to even show my appreciation, you know, to God, and, you know, for him, you know, showering me with the blessings he's been showering me with. And it's just, it's some of everything, you know, good versus evil, you know, fighting. One of the most, probably the song with the most substance and content is probably called Fighting Demons, Dropping Jewels. And I'm talking to like the youth. I'm talking to rap music artists, you know, warning them about certain, you know, sharks and snakes and stuff like that in the industry and stuff like that, and even in the streets, and just family and friends, you know, and just, you know, repenting and, you know, standing firm, you know, and, you know, even when it seems like all hope is lost, you know, things like that, you know, and just having faith, and, you know, never giving up, things like that, you know. But it's real dope. But basically, this is one of the songs on the album that really paints the picture of the album and the theme of the album, you know. So a lot of people have been, most of my messages that's about the inspiration is coming from like that song, or another song I got called Angel with a Uzi. Angel with a Uzi, Fighting Demons, Dropping Jewels, Heat Stroke, and Down Here is probably like the main 4 songs that paint the picture for the album title.
So, you know, you seem very passionate about I guess, violence in the streets and sending the right message. Recently, over Memorial Day weekend, in Chicago, over like 60 people, over 50 people, I believe, they said, were shot. Now, do you think, I mean, to me, it looks like things are getting worse. It doesn't seem like they're listening, or they have people that care. Do you think at some point it's gonna calm down?
I really hope it does. You know, of course, I plan on my music to grow and, you know, continue to have a snowball effect. And my album just came out. You know, I can't say that I have, I can't say my album before was like this, or had this many messages in it, you know, or had this standpoint. Like, the album before was more so of me showing, like, I'm with the shit, you know, you could tell that type of shit, you know. And it's like, I just always wanted to show my growth and maturity, you know what I'm saying? So as I have my fan base, they can grow with me, you know, and I always go look at the timeline and be like, he came from this to that, you know. So as I continue to grow and get bigger in Chicago, my music spreads, I'm pretty sure my messages will spread too, you know, as far as someone saying a quote, you know, they'd be like, oh, I know what that's from. You know, like, everybody knows what that quote is from. That's from Montana, you know, Montana 300, shit like that. So I know it's power in words, and it's a lot of power in music and shit like that. So I have hope, you know, and I think it'll get better, especially if, you know, it's just time for change, you know. Like, I'm probably like the only relevant Chicago rapper that doesn't gangbang, you know, that makes gangster music but doesn't gangbang, you know. And it's kind of fucked up in Chicago, because it's like, if it's like, oh, you rap, and you from Chicago? Yeah, like, oh, what you is? Like, you BD or GD, you know, what are you? Like, it's part of your resume, if you from Chicago and rap, that you some type of gang member, you know? So a lot of places I go, I get a lot of respect, you know, and a lot of people acknowledge me, you know, on my music, you know, and I'm pretty sure it's from all different kind of gangs, you know, like, I don't know what gangs these people are in that I come across in the city. But it's like, if I was a BD, then some GDs might saw me out in public like, man, this nigga be snapping, but I'm not finna tell him that. You know, like, shit, he part of the rival gang, I'm into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should rob his ass or shoot at his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that. Like, people don't walk around with BD and GD written on their forehead for you to know when to be on offense and when to be on defense. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's just time for change. Somebody got to break that cycle. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people's favorite rappers is still grown as hell on Instagram, throwing down gang sets, throwing down GD, and throwing down this and laughing like it's funny, you know? And, you know, you might see somebody that's what they stand for. You know, that's what their life is about, that gang. And they look on your Instagram and see that you disrespected they gang 87 weeks ago on Instagram, and now they see you in person. So they feel like they want to blow your head off. And you don't nobody know why the strangers came up and did this to you, but they know what you did for a fact. You know what I'm saying? But you just public figure, but you're not giving, you know, you got all the attention to all these kids and the attention to all these people, but you still not wising up. You know, you still, a lot of people got homies that's dying around them. That you bringing that negativity to your circle because you're using social media not to display your music, but to display ignorant lifestyle, you know, that most young men, you know, that we value and you know, and look up to, you know, because we don't know no better, you know. But you gotta, you know, you gotta mature. You know what I'm saying? You gotta grow, not just financially, you know, with your blessings. You know, you gotta wake up. You know, so that's really what I think I'm doing on this album, is waking up a lot of people. You know, from spiritual things to, you know, things in the street, to just motivating them, you know, uplifting them, and, you know, just. Speaking
about, you know, your spirituality, what's your stance on, what's your like relationship with God?
I got a song where I say, I'm not a Christian, Muslim, Mason, and never riding with Satan. A relationship with God is my #1 obligation. You know, and I'm of no religion, and my motto I always say is God over everything. You know, because a lot of people down here talk. Oh, this is what he said. He did this. He said this, and it's like, you still don't know these things for a fact. That's what you read. You know, and it's like, in this world, of course, we're all lost if we can't hear from the mouth of the horse. You know. Yeah. And it's like, in the midst of all this stuff and all these different beliefs, like, it's called religious beliefs. It's not called religious facts. You know, so in the midst of all of it, I just say it's God over everything. You know, like, whatever you're talking about, whatever this conversation is, God over everything. How can you argue with that? You know? Yeah. If he's the higher power, if you believe that there's a higher power, what's higher than that? So he is over everything, right? So in the midst of not knowing, one of my favorite things in the Bible is, you know, no one knows the Father but the Son, and no one knows the Son but the Father. Yeah. But you got everybody running around every day talking like they know him, talking about what they did and what they said. You're not the Father or the Son. So how many of y'all can really keep it real, keep it 100 and say, I don't know, but I know what I read about him, and I choose to believe this, but I don't know for a fact. But this is what I believe, and a lot of people can't say that, you know what I'm saying? And so that's really, really my standpoint. You know, as far as the whole Jesus thing, when I pray to God, you know. Do I believe Jesus exists? Yes, I do, you know. As far as walking on water and all these other great things, I don't know if he did that, you know. If he came to us today and said, I didn't walk on water, you know, I didn't, like, use your brain, I was human. Like, would you look at him any less? Like, oh, you know, he might just tell you, like, yeah, I made mistakes. You know, I sinned here and there, but I was the only person that gave a fuck about people to try to uplift them and give them truth, you know? And that's why people praise me so much, you know? And I look at sometimes, like, imagine if we wasn't able to see Michael Jordan on the camcorder. So we just heard these stories about him, you know? And the youth of today, they just missed that. You know, everybody going crazy over Steph Curry. But the old heads would be like, oh, y'all think Steph Curry was something? You should have seen Michael Jordan. He never missed a shot. But we can't prove that he never missed a shot because we don't have footage of that. You see what I'm saying? He never missed a shot. He scored 63 points. That's nothing. Jordan scored 200 points one time. Like, people can bend the truth because they can't be proven wrong when you don't have a camcorder or this type of proof, you know? And it's like, one of my favorite movies is Troy. And in the beginning, he had to go fight this big, swole built dude, you know, and he was sleeping in his tent. And they sent the little boy to go get him, and the little boy woke him up and said, hey, you gotta come fight this guy, you know? So he wakes up, And then the little boy tells him like, man, it's a pretty big guy. You know, I wouldn't want to fight him if I was you. And then he looked at the little boy and said, that's why no one will remember your name, you know? And it's like, people gotta really ask yourself, it's like you're a coward. Like, you know, like, you gotta ask yourself, like, what are you doing with this life? You know, what are you doing with this lifetime? Will anybody remember you? Even if the world doesn't remember you, will your family remember you? Now, what did you do for your family? Like, there's people that's in jail that's mad at their family because their family not sending them anything. I had to tell a shorty I was in jail with before, I said, you can't get mad at your family because you in here. I said, you probably wasn't even doing right by your family when you was out there for them to even want to help you. You know, like I see how you carry yourself in here and it's not too bright, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I was just telling them, you know, like you got a roof over your head while you're in jail. You're getting 3 meals a day, you know? You don't have to worry about paying no rent or anything while you're in here. Like your family still got to worry about that on the outside, you know? So stop being mad at them or talking about who you gonna cuss out and all this stuff when you get out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you did what you did to be in here. You know, do your time, get out, you know, get your mind right and have a plan, you know, when you get out. But back to the Troy thing, after that, the boy told him, he said, they say you can't be killed. And he looked at the boy and said, if that was the case, why would I be bothered with this sword and this shield? Like, basically, then the little boy like, oh, damn. So basically, it's like, use your fucking brain. You know, to stop going off of what everybody's telling you, these great stories. Like, I'm fucking human. You know, if Jesus was to tell you, I was human. I didn't walk on no fucking water. You know, I didn't do this, but I did. And yes, I've sinned. Yes, I've made mistakes. No, I wasn't perfect and 100% pure. I'm God's son, just like you God's son, you know? But I was the motherfucker that cared the most about y'all while these other motherfuckers were so much for self. You know, like if you look at all these rappers, now my 3 favorite rappers is Tupac, DMX, and Lil Wayne, all for 3 different reasons. Lil Wayne, his metaphors and, you know, unique out of the box thinking. DMX, his passion, his spirituality, you know, and just the whole little grimy street shit. And then Tupac, how relevant his music was, and you could tell he's a person that gave a fuck about the community. You know, and it takes a special type of person and a special type of heart to give a fuck about somebody that's not even your responsibility. Because most people's like, I gotta do for me and mine, you know, me and my family. That's all I'm worried about. But if you can see a whole stranger and you want to help this person, and that's not your job, you know, you really don't get rappers like that. You know what I'm saying? So, how many rappers give a fuck about the community? It's not too many. You know, if you want to take this time, go in the studio and you put together thoughts that you feel like is going to help and uplift people around you in the community.
Look, I work with them on Mad. Good guys. Good heart. Good guys. Give you the shirt off their back. Is it ironic? Is it a coincidence that most of their friends are white and got white wives? They like white women? I mean.
And they develop envy because they go home. They get out the car with their friend, with their other partner, and he listening to your music. They walk in the house, they girl listening to your music. They go downstairs, the kids doing a dance to your music. Now they are hypnotized with hatred.